Welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at the Golden Designs Nugget. I'm super excited about this one, being that I've already done a ghost review on this. I know how much I already like the knife, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll know if this one's right for you as well. The drop on these is today at 10 a.m. PST, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll have all the information linked down in the description. The OEM for this one is Best Tech Knives. They do a phenomenal job. They also did his last design, the caliper. Absolutely love this one, and he brought one of my favorite types of locks right here. You have the button frame lock. He's the one that came up with that idea, and it lets you actuate this frame lock, or you can just use the frame lock itself. Absolute genius there. Love it, love it, love it. And this design is just absolute, just killer. So this one, he's trying to bring one that's a little bit more affordable and have an immediate drop. So there's no pre-order for this one. He is dropping them on his site. So when you buy them, they will be shipped out pretty soon. So this is a compact one coming in at 6.75 inches long. It has a 2.94 inch blade of 154 cm steel, hardened to 60 to 62 HRC. And I've tested a good bit of Best Tech's 154 cm, and I absolutely love the way it performs. We're gonna test this one out in just a little bit. This one has a handle of 3.81 inches long and a grip area of 3.62 inches, so should fit most medium-sized hands. Perfect. Mine, I still have some left over, so large hands should be able to fit on here as well. XL, you may get like a 3.5 finger grip. I couldn't tell you that. So let's take a look at this blade. This is a two-tone blade. You have a brushed horizontal satin on the flats, and then your primary grind has a nice raw stone wash finish. I think it looks really nice. This is going to be a nice and versatile blade shape because it's got a very gradual belly to that tip, so you're still going to be able to do in-hand cuts rather easily. Still going to be able to do cuts on a flat cutting surface and get about that much of the cutting edge onto the surface before you come in contact with the scales or your knuckles. It's got a good sharpening choil. As you can see, that plunge comes to about right here where my fingernail is. So you should have 3, 4, maybe even 5 sharpenings as long as you're not reprofiling this thing before it'll start to widen up right here. You have 2 sets of fine cut jimping. Absolutely love this. So on this little ramp right here, you got some jimping if you're choked back. And then you have this other little section. So if you come up and you need some more grip pushing down, you got it. And it's perfect. Grips that thumb. This is what I'm always talking about. Perfect jimping right here. And why I like this one is because whenever I'm doing, say, like the rope cutting, I can put my index finger right there to do those pointer finger cuts and save me from getting blisters on my hand. And something that I thought was pretty unique looking, you have a crown spine in between these 2 sections of jimping, and then it kind of tapers off into a flat right here. It's pretty interesting looking. You got dual titanium thumb studs, nice custom titanium thumb studs. I like the design there, and they're nice and comfortable. We'll talk about that in the deployment. So we have a flat saber grind here that comes down to around 15 thousandths behind the edge. So this thing should slice very, very well. Let's find out. Yeah, this knife came wicked sharp out of box, and I forgot how much I like Best Tech's 154 cm. I remember the last one that I can actually remember was the Best Tech Falco in 154 cm, and that thing performed great. So I'm excited to see how this one does. Like I said, I already kind of know how it does because I've tested it once before. It's very slicey. It's nice and thin behind the edge. Came with a very sharp edge out of box, and you got that Goldilocks belly there. It's not going too crazy. It's still straight enough to where you can do these cuts fairly easily. And here, testing the ergos, I'm locked in. It's nice and comfortable so far. We're using light pressure, but I'll tell you what, it wants to bite in this wood so fast. So once I lift it up, that's when I'm really going to start increasing the pressure. So far, so good. Handle doesn't have anything crazy going on. Now, one thing I did notice at the very end of this when I was really bearing down is the pocket clip, just because of where it's sitting. Nothing to where I felt like I had to stop to put on gloves or anything, but other than that, it was excellent for my medium-sized hands. And here, watch out. Like at first ones, I'm seeing how light I can do it, and you can see I'm using that pointer finger grip, and because he has that jimping up there in the middle, it works like a charm. Yeah, perfect. Like I said earlier, perfect amount of belly. It is popping this half-inch sisal rope like nobody's business. Sorry if y'all can hear my dog. He heard I was doing a recording, so he had to put his 2 cents in. He said the knife's doing great as well, if y'all couldn't hear him. But yeah, I stay in that pointer finger grip a good ways, and the only reason I swap is just because I was getting a cramp in my finger. I go back and forth. But I would say for the majority of this, I'm using that pointer finger grip. And it was very comfortable, very easy, and it's just gliding through it. I love seeing this. Nothing worse whenever I get a knife and whenever I go to cut the sisal rope, it just slides right off the top, either because it's too polished or it just doesn't have any bite to it. This one is perfect. One reason why I love 154CM, it's a very well-balanced steel. It's not excellent at anything, but it's good at, pretty much everything. It holds a respectable edge. I think it holds a really good edge. It's very easy to sharpen. My favorite is very easy to strop. We get through 130 cuts, absolutely no problem. You can see me using that pointer finger grip again because it's that easy, and you don't see me using that grip toward the end too often because usually the knife isn't sharp enough to do that. But yeah, this one, outstanding. And look at that, you can easily get that tip onto the material. That's a different type of leather. I was trying out a fill light. I think it's a little too bright. Y'all let me know down in the comments. I was just trying to make it even better to be able to see. But it's blasting through all this material. Nothing gave it any trouble. Dense cardboard, no problem whatsoever. Even though it's a saber grind, perfect. Get to the 10-ounce denim. Absolute mayhem. But just going straight through it like nobody's business. Yep, using that pointer finger grip again because that jimping's great and it's still ridiculously sharp. Excellent job, Best Tech. Excellent design. Man, being that was the second time I've done the testing on one of these, this thing performed excellent. Absolute joy to use the entire time. Now let's look at the deployment and action of this knife. So you have thumb studs that are easily accessible and nice snappy action, nice fall shut action, easy reverse flicker. And being that you have that jimping right there, if you wanted to, you could front flip it. It's not the easiest. Let's see, maybe yeah, you could do the reach around. I'm not the best at front flipping, and I don't even know if that was the intention there or not, but you could definitely do it, or you could slow roll it as well. That'd be probably the only way I use it is do the little slow roll because you can make contact the entire way. This one's riding on ceramic bearings with the ceramic detent ball, and it's got a nice glassy smooth action. This thing's gotten so smooth since I've gotten this, I think the beginning of the week, last week. Very nice action. Good slow roller. Pretty much anything you want to do. It's got a very nice detent on it. All right, let's close it up. Take a look at this handle area. So we have very slightly contoured blasted titanium. We got some nice milled lines here. I think it's aesthetically pleasing. Offers perfect amount of traction because this is like a heavy blast. It's got nice grippy feeling, but it's not too chalky feeling. And as you can see, you have a nice clean show side. All you have is your pivot and no body screws on this side, no lanyard hole breaking it up. I think it looks very nice in the closed position. T8 hardware throughout. Awesome job. The only T6 that you have is for your locking liner. You have titanium hardware that matches the anodization on your titanium thumb stud and your titanium backspacer and your titanium pocket clip. When it came to ergos testing this, it was an absolute joy and it was nice and comfortable. Now, whenever I really bear down, and I mean really hard, I can kind of feel the clip just because of how low it is. But that said, it wasn't to where I felt like I had to go throw on a glove. I was really bearing down into that wood. And for my medium-sized hands, this fit my hand nicely. I was able to get a lot of force into it. And being that you have a very neutral handle, somewhat of like a broomstick style handle, and it's slightly contoured, it was comfortable throughout. No matter which grip I hold it in, I doubt you're going to be ever holding it like this. But hey, you never know. You could hold on to that butt end of that knife if you had to. Nice in the ergo department. Now this one is tip up right hand carry only. I don't know if there's lefty versions or not. I don't think so, but I could be wrong there. You have to check his website. Now I like how he does this clip. It's a 3D milled titanium pocket clip that is perfect thickness, so you still got some flex to it. And if you look at it, it's more deep carry than most deep carry clips. So right up to that line, that's all you have sticking out of the pocket. And this thing It carries really nicely as well. And if you look in here, you got heavy skeletonization on the show side scale, as you can see right there. You have a partial locking liner. You can see the Golden Design logo right there on the lock bar. And then you have heavy pocketing on the back side of these tie scales. That locking liner is stainless steel liner, but like I said, it's just a partial liner. So they were able to keep the weight down on this one, bringing your weight to 95.2 grams or 3.35 ounces. Awesome. And one thing Bestech is very good at is balancing out a folding knife. I can't recall the last one that was off balance. Now I'm sure there is some just because of the designs, but look at that, perfection. Which that makes this knife feel way more nimble in hand. It feels a lot lighter because of the balance point. It makes a big difference whenever you're actually using the knife. I like how he kept that blade sterile, put the blade marking right here on the tang of the blade. The lockup on mine, I'd say, is sitting at around 40, close to 50% or so. Access to the lock bar is excellent because this chamfer comes down lower than the lock bar. Then you have a nice little chamfer on the lock. So it's nice and comfortable to get my finger in there. And this one has a very nice and tight lockup. No movement up or down, left or right. Very tight lockup on this. All right, now for some size comparisons. We have the Ontario Wrap Model 2, which is a little bit bigger. And then we have the Devo Knives Pony Style, which is just a little bit smaller. And it's pretty much identical in length to the Civivi Mini Praxis and the Berg Blade Mini Sweeney. It's a little bit shorter than the QSP Penguin and Civivi Elementum. It's almost identical in length to the Monterey Bay Knives, the Sea Otter, and the Quiet Carry Drift. And lastly, it's a little smaller than the Spyderco Power 3 and the Hogue Ritter Mini RSK. All right, now for my nitpicks and complaints, I really don't have much. I could be real nitpicky and say maybe a little bit more sharpening choil. But that said, I sharpened this knife up after I finished testing it. And you can see I still have more sharpenings to go. I'd say I probably have 3, maybe 4 sharpenings before this will start to widen up. And I even dropped the edge bevel on this. So it's going to last you a lot longer than you think, unless you're reprofiling it to like 12 degrees per side or something. But I think it's a good looking knife, comfortable. It's got beautiful action. It carries really well in pocket. And he was trying to make this one as cost effective as possible. That's why I used the 154 CM. And I like that, you know. Just one that he could try to get out to more people and one that he didn't have to do a pre-order on, you know, because I know some people just can't stand the pre-orders even though they want to buy the knife. So there you go. Like I said, if you're interested in the Nugget, it will be linked down in the description. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave those down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.